Give you the real true options for black folk. There's only three things that you can do in this world as a black person to earn a living and survive. You either must work, go on welfare, or you steal. Now, for those who missed that, let me give it to you again. You either work up here, you go on welfare here, or you steal down there. You're talking about your crime problem. I'll show you how you get into your crime problem. Now, right now at the top level, everybody prefers to work. Now, I just told you that 68 to 70% of all the black folk are working in government. 26 to 28% of the rest of the blacks are working in white corporations. And those white corporations are going to follow the government. They're going to downsize. You're going to see IBM cutting back, Apple Computers, and Meritech, Lucent Tech, all of them are going to cut back. Only 2% of the blacks in America work in their own stores and their own business in their own communities. Only 2% that are not vulnerable. Only 2% of blacks are not vulnerable. The rest are vulnerable in America. Now look at the problem at the top. Now, contrary to what anybody tells you, the unemployment problem in America is not 5.2% you hear every day in the newspapers and read. That is not about black folk. That's about whites. They're only talking about people who are either getting unemployment compensation or looking for jobs. That's how they're getting that figure. The unemployment rate in America for black folk today is 34% nationally. Now, if you want to understand how devastating that is, think for a second. Follow me along. Think about this. When the unemployment rate in America for whites went up to 25% in the 1920s, they called it a depression. Now, the unemployment rate for blacks hasn't even come down to 25%. But when the unemployment rate went up for whites and hit 25%, they used every level of government. They said it's a depression and every piece of machinery, money, anything must be used to bring that employment rate down. And now with black unemployment rate, not at 25%, at 34%, nobody cares. They say we can't, that's not the role of government to help with the employment problem. 34% for blacks nationally. Now in Detroit, Michigan, Baltimore, and New York, the unemployment rate is 45%. Don't think that's bad yet. I'm giving you the worst stuff yet. In Pittsburgh, it is 49%. And for black youth in this country, it is 57%. That's why you got your problem out here on the streets. Because nobody wants to give you the true facts about why you got problems. Now that's at the top level. Now when you kick those people out of those jobs in the government and out of those corporations, they must go down to the second level. I'm going to show you how you get into your underclass. You kick them down to the second level. But the conservatives in this country have already made preparation for you when you come down to the second level. That's called welfare. They got prepared. They said, hey, when you come down here, don't plan on staying here. We just had welfare reform, which means you can't stay here on the second floor either. And now to do welfare act, so you can only be on welfare for 2 years, we're going to kick you off of that, which means you must go down to the next level. But before they kick you off the second level, look at the second level already. The poverty level in America for black folk is 35%. That means 35% of all the black people in this country got a zero, negative, nil, none net worth. That means they own nothing. 35%. 47% of all the black children in America are beneath the poverty level. I just left New Orleans. That's why I had tears in my voice and my eyes a few minutes ago when I talked about leaving New Orleans and Tuskegee University. In New Orleans, the poverty rate there for black folk is 80%. And somebody got to wake up. You can't stand that kind of poverty. Anyhow, I'm sorry. The poverty rate for black youth in this country is 47%. That means they can't even make daily bread. For black female-headed households, it is 52%, with 2 children in the family. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. And so they're going to now have welfare reform to kick them off the second level. So now they must go down to the next level. The next level is crime. Your crime rate in America is going to go straight up within the next 2 and 2.5 years. Straight up. Because, see, black folk are not simply going to disappear, they evaporate. Even if you don't care about them, they're not going to evaporate. Now, let's look at the crime rate already. In the most productive years for a black man in this country, but all these black men in this room, your most productive years are between 20 and 35 years of age. And already, 40% of all the black men in America are either in prison, on parole, or probation. 40%. And black women want to know why they don't have any husbands or fathers to their children. In the state prisons, 47% of your state prisoners are black. 52% of your federal prisoners are black. And 96% of all the prisoners in the United States, all the black prisoners, 96% are black men. And nobody cares. Nobody seems to care. Now, this is not new. Because you see what's going to happen now, you're going to have a new growth industry in this country. The new growth industry is going to be owning, operating, and building prisons and selling services and goods to them. And there are 2 major corporations right now, I won't give you the names, have already set up a big contract to take over some of the monies of it. The government passed what's called the Omnibus Crime Bill for $29 billion to build more prisons in the United States. And 2 big companies have found out they can get $82,000 for every jail cell they build and $27,000 a year to operate the prison per prisoner. And just in all those black prisoners you find, just the black male prisoners, for supplying them with shaving lotion, underarm deodorant, and soap, that is a $3 billion a year industry, and black people don't get a penny out of it. People are already making money off of our people in prison. And nobody even cares about where the money is going and how they're making the extra money, even after they criminalize you. Now, this criminalization process didn't start here, so let me get with the public policy and show where everything started, and let's analyze it with history very quickly. The whole problem goes back to 1619.